UHMTV. Today we have Ms. Tina Shelton, Director of Communications for the John A. Burns School of Medicine. She is known for her work as a news anchor for local stations such as KHON. She attended Kapiolani Community College and UH Manoa, graduating with a degree in journalism. Hi, Ms. Tina, how are you?
Hi, fine, thanks.
So you do have a degree in journalism and a background in it, but what led you to this job?
Most of my career I've been an investigative reporter covering, specializing in the federal law enforcement. And then at KHON I was covering the legislature with Greg Takayama, who was excellent at it. He had gone to the medical school to be the communications director. And when he moved up, he got a job here at UH Manoa, doing the same, running the communications for Manoa. And so he sort of came and sort of recruited me really for the UH job. I had to compete for it. But I thought at that time, wow, I just got a new contract at KHON, I was going to get a raise. To go to the medical school, I had always loved science. I'd always loved science. I was kind of a nerd that way. And I thought, wow, and to be promoting to be promoting the medical school, that's not selling a product. That's not working for, a company. That's exciting.
How has your time at UH influenced you now and your jobs?
For everything. I was the first in my family to get to go to college. And that has meant everything to me. And when I was able to come to UH Manoa, it was only $325 a semester. So I was able to work four part-time jobs, and go to school. Education is so important. That's where you met your colleagues who also wanted to be journalists. And that was the best part, and learned journalism from the teachers. We didn't have television in journalism. I did my project as a senior on why we should have television news incorporated into our curriculum here. But, looking back, I'm so glad we just had writing. And that is so important. The writing is what gives us the basis for everything. UH gave me everything that I have.
Have there been any stories that kind of inspired you to impact the community or even impacted yourself?
For journalists of my age, we have to go back to 9/11. That happening when it happened was the most startling thing. I remember my news director woke me up on the phone and said, started telling me what has happened, and I'm just incredulous. What? What? And I immediately had to get dressed and just go. And I went I worked, I knew some people at the FBI, so I just went down there and was able to get the first comment on the air of them saying, we still have planes in the air that are coming to Hawaii, and we don't know what's going to happen. So we're starting to cry, but then not letting myself, because I didn't have time for that. I had to do some other things, and so it was kind of it was surreal in that way, because we didn't get to be Americans really that day. But on the other hand, we were doing what is so important for America. Democracy dies in darkness is one of the most brilliant sayings that I've heard ever for a newspaper that the Washington Post now has as its saying, because it's so true, and it's so amazingly true in this current era. But so stories I think like that are when we know that we have a very, very important role. I imagine combat reporters have that feeling every day.
For aspiring journalists, what kind of advice would you give them?
Work hard. Try to get your foot in the door. Try to get as many internships as you can. If you're thinking at all about trying to do a job in academia like mine that I have now, I'm lucky enough to have now, consider getting a master's degree if you can, or some other advanced degree, because in academia those things matter.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Ms. Tina.
You're welcome.